What is it with conservatives these days and pseudo-hard rock intros and outros? Liberals have System of a Down, Nirvana, Nine Inch Nails, Rage Against the Machine. You guys have Hank Williams Jr. and Ted Nugent. You do not rock. You suck. Stop thinking that some shitty display of soulless power chords is going to change that. It's about as obvious as a cheap toupee. It winds up drawing more attention to the thing that you're trying to conceal. You know, like a guy with a cheap toupee looks balder than a guy who's just bald. When you guys have that shitty pseudo-hard rock playing in your intros and outros, it just draws more attention to how completely lame you are.
90% of us believe that there is a God. 90%, yet we seem to be pushed around by 10%.
I don't get it, Glenn. You've managed to keep under God in the Pledge of Allegiance for 55 years, ever since the Knights of Columbus added it in 1954 during the Red Scare. The phrase "In God We Trust" has appeared on our money since 1864, a full 88 years after the signing of the Declaration of Independence. So how are we, the atheists, pushing you around exactly?
Dear Jesus, my name's Scotty.
Fucking Christian!
What the fuck?
I'm an amazing atheist! Give me your lunch money!
Okay, man. Just calm, man.
Fucking Christian piece of shit!
Sorry,
no
man.
more prayer in school for you, bitch! Ah!
Okay, I'm sorry, man. Where's my money?
And I don't care. You don't believe in God. You want to worship a broom. I could really care less.
It's couldn't care less, Glenn. Could care less would mean that it's possible to care less, which means nothing from a comparability standpoint. A person who devoted their entire lives to saving the spotted cockweasel could conceivably care less about that cause, which is to say that the massive concern that they show for the spotted cockweasel could conceivably be diminished. When you don't care about something at all, it's impossible to care less, hence the phrase, "I couldn't care less." People who say could care less when they mean couldn't care less are either retarded or they're so hopelessly unaware that they don't even understand that what they're saying doesn't make any sense. Now granted, with this particular phrase, it's so widely misused that even I find myself misusing it. But whenever I misuse the phrase, I always have a little pang of self-reproach, which I know you don't feel.
Now there's some people that want to remove God from America entirely, and, you know, right here in this country that is, you know, one nation under God, you can't even now use the word prayer in school because it makes the children cry.
Outright lie.
Some people want to force their non-belief down our throats. I ain't forcing it down your throat. Don't force your non-belief. I don't care what you believe in. Just leave God alone, please.
I think that your all-knowing, all-wise, and all-powerful God can probably take care of himself. I mean, what's wrong? His lightning-chucking arm just ain't what it used to be? Now he needs Glenn Beck to step up to the plate and defend him? If that's the case, he doesn't really sound all that much like God to me.
In Illinois, Robert Gettleman struck down a moment of silence law because he says it's an effort to force students at an impressionable age to contemplate religion.
What you don't mention, Glenn, is that the teacher has to instruct the students on what prayer is and what it means and how to do it. And there are so many restrictions placed upon what kind of reflection they can do in this reflection period that prayer is almost their only choice. So this is just another shrewd attempt on the part of Christians to force prayer in schools. There's always been prayer in schools, and there probably always will be, and there always should be. But it shouldn't be mandated, which is what this law did, which is why it was struck down as unconstitutional.
Are the children of atheists so fragile that the idea of prayer could actually warp their minds?
Well, it seems to have warped your mind, Glenn, so I think I should probably keep my kids away from it. But I'm sure you've invited an atheist guest on your program who will refute all of your arguments magnificently, someone who is articulate, intelligent, and secular. I'm sure you didn't just invite some ultra-right-wing Christian fundamentalist guest who will reaffirm all of your statements and just nod as you talk.
Here's James Dobson, founder and chairman of Focus on the Family.
Oh.
Religion coming under attack, where we are sitting here in a country now where we can't even say prayer. It's been deemed unconstitutional to even say the word prayer.
No, it hasn't.
I mean, all that the school was doing was giving kids an opportunity to sit and think. They could contemplate, they could reflect, they could think about a baseball game coming, or they could pray. But nobody mentioned prayer.
Lie. Outright fucking lie. Doesn't the Bible tell you people not to lie? I could have swore that was in there somewhere. Doesn't the Bible say that Jesus isn't down with liars? Maybe I have a bad translation. Maybe I need a new Bible. Can you guys recommend a Bible to me? One that doesn't have all this stuff about lying being wrong? Because I could have swore that was in there.
And by the way, we're just assaulting people who are too weak to just be able to stand the word prayer. They're just like, oh, I'm traumatized. That's what that is on the bottom of the screen.
You're the ones who are afraid of words, asshole. Like whenever I say fuck or cunt, one of you fucking cunts gets all whiny and indignant like I just pissed in your lemonade. You can say prayer all you want to. You can even say prayer in schools. You just can't instruct the kids on how to pray in our schools because they're public schools paid for with public money. If you want prayer mandated in schools, then I think that atheists should have a tax-exempt status. Yeah, I wonder how your 90% stronghold would contend with that.
But if you take God out of the picture, then where do the rights come from?
Rights are an idea. They're just imaginary. They're a cute idea. Cute. But that's all. Cute and fictional. But if you think you do have rights, let me ask you this. Where do they come from? People say, well, they come from God. They're God-given rights. Oh, fuck, here we go again. Here we go again. The God excuse. The last refuge of a man with no answers and no argument. It came from God. Anything we can't describe must have come from God. Personally, folks, I believe that if your rights came from God, He would have given you the right to some food every day, and He would have given you the right to a roof over your head. God would have been looking out for you. God would have been looking out for you.
And if you say that rights do not come from God and they come from the state, they can be taken away.
George W. Bush, our Christian fundamentalist president, is the one who suspended habeas corpus, opened Guantanamo Bay, and illegally wiretapped our phones. So, fuck you. By the way, boys and girls, James Dobson and Glenn Beck go on in this interview to explain how pornography turns people into serial killers. So, yeah.